Hello everybody, this is Gregory with How I Lost Over 100 Pounds and I've kept it off for 30 plus years, where there should be no hesitation in your weight loss and maintenance. Today we're going to talk about how to deal with dress while you're trying to lose your weight. Now before we begin, if you need help with weight loss, contact me through the Clarity FM link found here in the episode notes. Also check out my website, naturopathicearth.com, otherwise known as 100poundsoff for30plusyears.com, where there's hundreds of articles and recipes. And lastly, if you appreciate my content, there is a link for PayPal. Now, we've kind of talked about how to deal with your changing body as you're losing weight. We have an episode here on should you keep your old clothes if you're gaining weight. You notice for men, you notice the buttons maybe getting harder to fasten and so forth. Should you keep those clothes or should you just upgrade to a larger size? We have an episode on whether or not you should weigh yourself all the time, every day and so forth. I think it's important for dress as well because look, I talk about it in Confessions of an Obese Child. I think it's probably episode 8. Go to that playlist on going to the Big and Tall store. And this, granted, this was like in 1990, and I think fashions have changed. And thank God we have Amazon now, because back then I lived in Houston, and there was only one Big and Tall store, and we had to drive across town, and the fashion there was bad. I mean, as it is, early 90s fashion was a lot of baggy clothes and bright colors, but it was even worse for Big and Tall. And I talk about in that episode how like they would have pictures of big and tall people, and it was always like handsome tall people, and then the big people, of course, they have to use the fat. They have to use the euphemism of big. They can't say they're fat. We're all like a little overweight, right? You didn't have the 4XL people up there like we were, like size 58 waist. But I think a lot of you guys know, like, when you're losing your weight or if you are overweight, I think there's a impulse to dress slovenly, to dress poorly. And I think a lot of this, when you strip away the cognitive dissonance, has to do with just you don't feel confident and you don't feel very positive about yourself, right? There's self-loathing. This is what's leading you to overindulge in food and use food as a comforting agent. And so it's understandable that you would not want to dress well because you don't think well of yourself, to use improper English. But I think we have to stymie that impulse. We have to stymie a lot of impulses when we're overweight. And one of them is just that kind of negativistic, self-loathing mindset, because that mindset, of course, leads to self-destructive behavior. But what part of it is, I think a good mindset is, I am overweight, I might have a muffin top, as a man or a woman, I have fat folds, I understand this, I'm working on this. Again, positive mindset, not the loser mentality. I'm going to be this way forever, because that's not constructive. It's not constructive. So this is just a transient phase. I will change this. What can I do to help in little ways to feel better about myself? And dress does make it the man, as has been mentioned before. And dressing better does help. And yeah, you might not feel it, but you fake it till you make it. And people will treat you better when you dress better. And dressing better, people will respect you more at where you work. People will respect you more in terms of the opposite sex. It's overall a win-win. So what are some strategies you can do if you're overweight and you want to dress well? Well, obviously you want to wear clothes that fit well. So if you're getting muffin tops, maybe you need to get pants that are bigger, at least short term, because muffin tops are unsightly. Women, I mean, there's a lot of women when I go to like water parks that are just wearing bikinis they shouldn't be wearing. But women, don't be wearing scantily clad clothes when you're obese. I know this seems pretty obvious, but trust me, there's a lot of women who don't know this advice. So if you're overweight, don't be showing more skin. But what are some general things? We know that black is slimming, black is flattering. You see this played out on television. But you should know this, so wear dark colors. If you don't necessarily like to wear black, you can wear navy blues, you can wear forest greens, just darker colors. It's not smart to be wearing yellows and oranges and white. Also for men, you don't want to be wearing striped shirts or polka dot shirts or large pattern shirts. And exacerbating that, you don't want to be wearing bright shirts with stripes. These are big no-nos. So just wearing properly fitting clothes that are slimming will make you feel better about yourself. And it's the little things. So don't go out into the world with shoes with holes in it or shirts with holes in it, you can put on a nice dress shirt and some slacks. And if you want to wear a sweater, or if you want to wear a coat, or if you women want to wear a coat, that's fine, but still make the small attempts. Like we make the attempt to groom, and most of us don't leave the house without brushing our teeth or getting the boogers out of our eyes and so forth. So we do the basic grooming. So there's no difference in looking and taking care of this, but also then taking care of how you look down here. And yes, you might not look where you want to look, or you might not look as good as you want to look, but that can be a motivating factor to working on yourself to get to that goal of what you want to look. But in the meanwhile, in the transition, dressing better is an outward sign that you care about yourself. And it's an outward sign that you don't have a lot of dysfunction in. Look at the oscillating side of the pendulum. Go to the other side. When you see people that are out and about wearing pajamas and t-shirts, muscle shirts with holes in it, like wife beaters with holes in it, or with stains. You see people go out with their hair is a mess, and they haven't gotten their eye boogers out, or you go by their car and their car has a bunch of junk in it. What does it say, right? It says this person doesn't care about themselves. So care about yourself. And again, it's a long process for weight loss or weight maintenance, but there's nothing that should be stopping you from making a modicum of effort on how you appear. Because yes, you can't fully hide and conceal your fat folds and so forth. And even when you wear black clothes, you're still going to maybe look overweight, but you'll look less overweight, and just by dressing better, you'll feel more confidence. And sometimes that confidence, that little confidence, can build up, and it can give you the momentum to start really losing your weight. Guys, post in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Hit the notification, subscribe, and share button. Until next time, take care. God bless and pray.